Today, we're just going to get right into it as your favorite talking head does his best to keep his promise. That's right, I read another book. This time, it just happens to be The House Sitter by JE Rowney. Hi, I'm your host, Chris Humphrey, and for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm just another talking head that still can't get rid of this sit. I promise it popped, it got better, but that's not the point. Today, we're here to review JE Rowney's new book, The House Sitter, which I got a copy of and I thoroughly enjoyed, and I hope you do too. But we're going to break it down, and there's going to be some things you like, some things you don't like, and some things you may not like, but things that I really liked about it that I think you should go out and get it wherever you can. But first, we're going to start with what you're not going to like, and this is just some people. Because I try and break it down based off of people's preferences and people's opinions, right? If you're going in there and you're looking for Shakespeare or Jurassic Park or some crazy thing where the words are like 12 letters long and very wordy and you're supposed to understand the deep meaning of it, no, this is not the book for you. I'm going to lay it on the line for you right now. So if you're that type of reader and you want something that will get you here and sink into your soul and you can look out to the sky and then it starts to rain, that type of thing, then no. On the other hand, what this book is very cookie cutter. And that's actually not bad. Some people look at books and they see cookie cutter and they tend to avoid those. And I'm going to tell you why that is personally wrong and why you should enjoy some cookie cutter books. But if you don't like cookie cutter books, then you're not going to like this. Other than that, there's not a whole lot most people won't like. Maybe it's just a little too twisty until you get to the end. It does take a little bit to build up her wonderful world, and it's actually a really good world she's building up in the first 10 or so chapters. But uh, some people don't like that, and I understand a lot of people don't have patience and time, but this is a very short read uh, that you should be able to stick through. It actually, the first 10 chapters, what she does in it, makes it very intriguing that it does make you want to continue on, or at least it made me continue on. And that's where we get the good in this book. I like cookie cutter, especially in books. I do, because when I go into books, uh, I don't want to have to pull up an English dictionary sometimes. I don't want to have to pull out a thesaurus. I can't speak English along with my pimple on my nose. I don't want to pull out these things. I don't want to have to Google a word sometimes. Sometimes I just want to read it like I watch movies. You know, you watch dumb movies sometimes because you just want to turn off your mind. And that's what this book did fantastic for me. It was so good at shutting off my mind that I realized I was reading a lot of it at work. That's right. I was reading on my Kindle, and I don't think I did any work that day, but that's okay. That's for another story. My boss can yell at me after. But I like cookie cutter. I like cookie cutter writers. I'm going to name a few, and you're probably going to be mad. I don't mind Danielle Steele. I don't mind James Patterson. I definitely don't mind Michael Connolly, Joe Nesbo. Um, who else? Who does the John Grisham? Right. These are cookie cutter writers. Right. The plot is simple. It goes from there to the middle. Something intense happens, and you go, "Oh, that's pretty crazy," and then it goes there. Another one would be like Harlan Coben, Eileen Hoover. All those people have this ability to be cookie cutter, and that's okay. I like these ones because I can be dumb and I can just go, "Oh, these people are crazy and messed up," and that's what this book did. I want you to go into this book blind. I don't want to give too much of the plot away because I think that defeats the purpose of this actual book, The House Sitter. Because if I say too much, then it kind of gives away some of the twist, but it also kind of does it. So I'm going to give you the most simple plot that I can give you. This lovely lady is trying to reinvent her life and she becomes what we call a house sitter. So when people go away, she looks after their house, whether it's their plants or their home, to make sure nobody breaks and enters. She can live there, she can stay there, she can go over on her coffee break and just check to make sure there's no water leaks and floods. I've seen these. I've worked in condos my whole life. I've seen these house sitters all the time, and you get used to them when people go away. But she gets a mysterious phone call that tells her she's got to do something in this house, and if not, something about her will be released. That's the easiest way I can explain this plot, because if I tell you what that phone call entails or I tell you what that does, it may give away the whole book, and I don't want to do that. Going back to the cookie cutter sentiment, why are people okay with cookie cutters? I don't understand. I like them. I really do. And this book is a good testament of that. I like easy reading. I like the grade 6, grade 7 reading level because, hell, in Canada and America, unfortunately, our reading level is what, a grade 3, 4? It's really bad. Anyways, it appeals to the masses, and that's where this book does. And that's what this book is going to do. This would be actually a very good uh, movie, even if it's a made-for-TV movie or even Netflix, right? I liken her to like a Harlan Coben type of writer, and I'm gonna look into more of her books because I like these kind of brain-numbing books. I like these ones. They go at a good pace, right? It's a very fast pace. Hell, I think 2 chapters were very short. One chapter was 3 sentences, and then the next chapter was one word, and it was perfect. You have to get up to that point to understand, but those chapters stood out. I'm like, wow, that's very clever, because when you do a chapter break like that, it makes you think that time has passed, and it does, because that's technically how chapter breaks work, or intermissions in movies. And I like that. I like that that the author, I don't know if she's a she or not, and I apologize if I even pronounced their name wrong, but I like that they were daring enough to do something where it was 3 sentences long, chapter end, and then one word. And I thought that was brilliant for that part of the book. Um, when it got to the end, and it made sense, and I was like, I should have gone back, and I did end up going back because I was like, how did I miss it? It was right there in front of me the whole time. The problem is it just gets a while to get there, but that's the whole point of these cookie cutter books. Something happens, people try and redeem themselves or try and live their life, and then something happens again, and then boom. That this is a perfect way if you're trying to become a new writer, and you want to start a formula or a format of writing books. This might be a good book to actually learn from. Obviously, that's just my personal opinion. She hit the right market with somebody like me, because that, and if she takes offense to the cookie, or if they take offense to the cookie cutter uh, idea, don't, because Stephen King, uh, John Grisham, Michael Connolly, James Patterson, Daniel Steele, you name them. A lot of these writers follow formats where it's sort of the same. Actually, if you go by any book or anything, movie, anything in history, you'll see that we all kind of follow a format, and that's okay. And that's what makes you a brilliant writer. And I really think a new writer should look at one of these books so that they can see and maybe develop their own things. And if you want to go out there and be your own wordplay type writer, go right ahead. More power to you. But sometimes that loses interest in people who have lower reading levels. Now I know everybody waits to the bitter end to find out what I thought of it. Obviously, you guys know I like these kind of books, right? Right. Even if the plot is simple and the ending I should have saw coming, but I didn't because again I shut off my brain. I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10. So great read, fast pace. You're not gonna lose a lot of time on this one. But again, if you don't like this kind of style of book, then please don't even bother writing a review that you did not finish because you found this boring. You're not supposed to like some characters. You're not supposed to. People aren't perfect, and this book is the prime example of it. And I don't want to say too much because say people aren't perfect. That just tells you there's something wrong. But really, is the protagonist also the antagonist? Probably. And that's what you have to find out with this kind of book. But a 7.5 out of 10 is great. Unfortunately, it didn't make my top five, and that's okay. But at the end of the year, we will go through all of this list. But I want you to go out there and read more. I want you to go out there and make fun of this zip because I feel like a teenager. Compliment me on my hair. Yeah, that's right, I got a haircut. Just to try and keep your mind off your zip, but you notice how I keep pointing it out? Ugh. Hopefully it'll be gone by next week. I love you guys. You know what I'm going to say. If I don't see you, bom dia, boa tarde, and boa noite. Producer, hit my music, baby. Ciao.